My name is Nicholas, and me and Michael are going to do our proposal for their project for information visualization over the bloodiest battles of the United States Civil War. We were going to do something complex, but we decided just to go on something simple while also grabbing the audience's attention easier. For the task that we need to do is first, it comes down to the graph. We picked a histogram for ours, and on the right you can see an example that kind of roughly represents what we kind of want for ours. And when it comes to the information we're going to get for this, is we're going to get out of all the battles within the United States Civil War, we're going to get the top 10 of them that were the bloodiest and the most deaths. And when it comes to each battle we're going to grab, we're going to also see when each battle happened and also how long each battle happened. And these battles could range from 1860 to 1868. And each battle could have lasted from just a few days to weeks. And during those time periods, the one that happened in 2 days could have had more deaths than the one that happened in 2 weeks. We don't know, and that's what we're trying to find out. And when it comes to the battles, the most important thing we're trying to gain is the or get both death counts for both sides of each battle. So for the North and the South, we're trying to get the deaths from both sides and also civilian life if that occurred. For the histogram, with each bar, we will combine both death counts from each battle, so from the North and South, and also civilian life if it occurred. So in the graph on the right, you can see for the blue, we can represent it as the North. Then for the orange, we can represent that for the South. And for the green, we can represent that as civilian life if it occurred. But that's basically what we kind of want to do with our graph. Like, it would show the difference in deaths, but when you combine it all, that's all American deaths. And when it comes to the battles, we're going to organize him from the earliest to the latest during the Civil War. And on the bottom of the histogram will be the range of dates that we're going to organize from the earliest to the latest. And when it comes to the sidebar on the left side, that's going to cover the death toll range for Americans. And it's going to be probably around the millions or more as the highest. For the next one, we're going to need the data sets. For our data sets, it's not much, but our main thing is to find the top 10 battles within the United States Civil War with the most death toll. And when it comes to those battles, we need to see how long each battle lasted because that matters. Because if, let's say, in 2 days, a million deaths have occurred to- total, while when a battle happened or lasted 2 weeks and had the same amount of deaths, I would think the one that happened in 2 days would be the most bloodiest. So when we look at the graph on the right, we can see name. That's basically going to be the battle. Then when it says gender, that can be the date when it occurred. And when you see age, that can be how long the battle happened. And for the height, that would be the North's total deaths that occurred. And for weights, that would be the total deaths for the South. And we'll add another one if civilians died as well. On to the next one. Samples of data we need. Again, the deaths are the more are the what we're trying to gain for this whole project. So we're going to need the deaths from the north side from each battle, and we're going to get the deaths from the south from each battle. Then when we have both of the death counts from each battle, we're going to total them up. And we're also going to get the dates for when each battle ended. So if you see on the right, just an example. So we're basically grabbing these specific battles and getting the information from them for our presentation to show off how brutal the United States Civil War was and why it should be remembered. On to the next one, we have sample of information we need. Again, we're getting the total American deaths from the 10 bloodiest battles from each battle. The total time elapsed from it, and we're also going to get the dates for when each of the 10 battles happened. This is all the information we're going to grab from these battles. But most importantly, out of all of them, are the American deaths, because that's what's most important about this. To see how much carnage and death occurred between United States citizens. On to the next one is feedback. If it occurs, we need a different graph, we may change it. But right now, we feel like the histogram is a good one. But if we need to change it, we will. But there's more we want if there is to change, or if there's anything different. But we're going to find a different set of data if we need to, maybe. Or do we even need more data? I feel like what we have may be alright, but we don't know for sure. And also, should we keep the time elapsed from each battle as data? But when it all comes down to it, it's what truly matters is the total deaths that occurred. No matter how long the battle lasted, it's all about the lives that have been taken over a war and why we should remember it. So that's pretty much it for our proposal. All right.
Okay, so I kind of make some notes here. Sorry, I had the notepad kind of pop up in the middle. Uh, so let me start. Use a different graph. Definitely, it's part of the project to explore alternatives. You get points for them. Just keep track of everything you've looked at, and in the final project report, presentation, just have them. And when you turn in your final things on Blackboard, just turn them. But I definitely don't want you to get stuck with histogram and that's it. Even if it happens to be the best way, I would still want you to try different things, different ways to look at the data. It doesn't have to be uh, necessarily histograms. You're talking about time, maybe time series, or I don't know. Try a few things until you're satisfied. Maybe look at the network. There's a few things with this data set that you should do. Um, I'm not sure if you have the data, but if you don't and you can get it soon, I would move on. There's plenty of data sets out there. Um, so that's kind of don't spend too much time. And um, related to data also, why 10 battles? Why not 12? Why not 27? Why not 30? 10 seems small. I don't know why you would be uh, restricted to that. If you can find the data set, if you can find it, then it almost doesn't matter because I would again suggest. Yeah,
You
go
could
ahead.
you could certainly get more. It was more just a start with 10, see if that's sufficient or how long it's going to take. I've already got 10 at this point. We could certainly increase the size. That's not a big
Okay,
deal.
so you have the data, so I'm not too
I
worried.
have been there's lots of data. The Civil War
Okay.
battles are well
There,
documented.
yes, I know there is, but I'm not sure if sometimes it's in documents and you have to extract it from PDFs, and I hope it's not the case. But
No, there's a lot of really available data for this.
okay, okay, good. Now, if you decide on a certain number, just have a good reason why. Um, don't be just arbitrary. I kind of with it. Let's see. And the task, I know you're saying we want to look for, and here the task was kind of in this area. You need to come up with a glue. Why would you need to get the dates, how long the battle lasted, death counts for both sides? If you just want to show, like you say, how bloody it was, then it's probably a single number that you don't even need a histogram. Just show. Here is total. I'm sure it needs to be a lot more complex than that. Your problem that you're trying to solve or your task that you're trying to do. So these are good bullet points, but try and see if there's a glue that kind of basically I cannot do something without I cannot if I just look at the dates when each battle happened, I won't be able to do what I'm trying to do unless I look at how long the battle lasted, and unless I look at the death counts. And you have something more on this one, I think. Combine here the side would be death toll range. You don't have to use all the bullet points that you put in there, but have a glue that kind of glues them together. Uh, just like I was trying to give you that example with the airplane, I have different views, and then the problem I'm trying to find to say is this airplane going to crash in the next, imminently, next 10, 15, 20 seconds? Is this plane in danger? So something along those lines to glue them together. Other than that, I think these are kind of all the comments I have here. So the most annoying part would be coming up with that glue, I guess, and then try different things. I'm not sure. Okay, try different things. That's all. If you need more data, you can always bring in more data. But you say you have a lot, so I right now it's fine as long as you can find that glue as far as the problem goes.